Hello and welcome to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Nina Adio, a social media marketing expert specific to the wedding industry. On this show, I discuss tips to help you DIY your social media, as well as getting the confidence and income to outsource it. Thank you for allowing this episode to come through on your Bluetooth, your car radio, wherever it may be you're listening from today. Now, let's take your wedding business to the next level. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to the I Do Wedding Marketing Podcast. I am filming this just, chilling out on a weekday morning. Have my cup of coffee in my little Miss Bossy mug, and I'm feeling pretty great. But this is a special time of year, particularly with some of the venues and people who, even photo booth companies, I mean, everybody who does it, it's a time of year where we're getting ready for corporate events. Why? Because, well, this is the first week of school for a lot of people. Back to school means a lot of back to school functions. Going to be a lot of back to school events. Also, eventually you're going to get all of the sporting awards ceremony and those events. That's going to trickle into the holiday events, the fundraisers, the galas. So many different things are going to be happening in the next quarter. So I kind of wanted to talk a bit about corporate events and how I integrate that into a marketing strategy that is pretty much, you know, focused on weddings all year round, but trickling in that corporate event planning. Now, if you want to learn how I actually do all of my engagement, I am doing something I've never done before. It is a live workshop where I am going to teach you that strategy. But in order to really sell it to you guys that this is a complete 10 minutes a day engagement strategy, I had to bring on somebody else. So Carissa Kruse Wedding, she's going to be showing you how you can get the content as well, because the engagement's only one part. If you have no content, it's not going to work. She's going to show you how you can get the content that converts as quickly as possible for your social media strategy. So I'm going to have the link to that in the show notes. It is the Engage to Engagement workshop. We're going to teach you how to drive traffic to your wedding business in 10 minutes a day. If you can at least commit to me 10 minutes a day, you can do this. And this is happening live September 14th at 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. If you can't attend the live, purchasing your ticket will give you that replay. But if you're on live, you get to ask us questions, which is where I think even more of that value is. So it's $47. But if you go on now, this is going live September 1st. If you go on live today, you'll be able to get it for $10 cheaper for 37. So I hope you will join us. Guys, there's a lot riding on this. I've never done this before. So if you come on and it's good and we have fun, I'll be doing more. But if it's just me and my mom, like on my lives, then we won't get to do this anymore. Maybe I still will. We'll see. We'll see. But let's get a bit into today's topic. Now, I didn't, as usual, I'm starting to start off every episode like this now that we're doing the daily episodes. But this is just kind of my flow anyway. I don't prepare a script or anything. I kind of just like to talk, and let it flow out. So when it comes to corporate events are great. And there's something you want to consider even if you're not a venue. Because corporate events are annual. So they happen again and again and again. Sometimes different businesses have several events a year. So if you can make this work for you, it can be really great. So some things I want to brainstorm is how you can market to it if you're the type of business who's never thought about corporate before. And and then when I start marketing it and how that strategy goes. So in one of my lives, I was chatting with a local makeup artist about this who came on. And I said, look, pitch it to where you could come to the office right? And do people's makeup. So when they're going straight from work to the big charity event or the big fundraiser, the big holiday party, that they're ready to go and they're feeling and looking their best. Or you could almost do it the way you would do bridesmaids, where it's a group price, a group discount, and a bunch of girls from work decide to do it. And then they decide to go out. Just try things that you don't see everyone doing because maybe it's going to hit, right? And people are going to like it. And when I am posting about these things, that's when I am doing my engagement strategy, I'm not just doing my typical. I'm looking for more of the Long Island. I'm going to use Long Island because that's where I live. Long Island businesses, where are they hanging out? Realtors. They are the best on Instagram. Start off with them. They are the best on Instagram, but also the big brokers do host big holiday parties, so that's something to consider too. And look at what are the business news outlets in your area and really start getting in there and think about what you can do, because even a limousine company, gosh, how cool would that be? Because some of these businesses, the event is they're during the week, they're not on a weekend, and that's why I say having a bus that comes to the office and takes everybody there, so they don't have to leave their car there, and they can enjoy themselves, and they can enjoy the open bar the boss is paying for, could be really great. So that could be a strategy that you put into it. Corporate events do always still use DJs, especially the audio and visual with they often need TVs, microphones, so forth. So that's something to consider. They still do need centerpieces. They may need something less showy and more maybe economical or subtle, but maybe, as a florist or someone who's doing event decor, you could think about that. Usually they have someone in-house as a planner, but it's possible they don't. So you still could reach out regarding planning. I'm just trying to think in my head of every aspect of the industry you're in and how you could relate it to corporate. I mean, catering corporate is huge because you have the pharmaceutical reps or different even for real estate agents, again, people who need consistent catering, whether they're bringing in platters, places, purchasing lunches for offices. But some offices may cater lunch for the team once a month. Imagine if you could get in on that and you have that that monthly outsource. That would be awesome. And like I said, with corporate is it's repeat business if you do it right. And that's why you can kind of get creative with your packaging, like we were talking about. If we had a makeup artist doing people's hair and makeup for the day, you could say, well, if you get 10 people in, it brings down the price. Or if you're catering, you could say, if we do the contract now for your next 3 events, I'll work with you on the price. And that's going to be economical for you and them. They're going to get the perceived discount, but really you're getting this repeat business and you're getting more than one shot to wow them to get that future business coming. So I just find that really, really exciting. And there's so many different types of corporate events. So like I mentioned, there are school events where they do award ceremony, and those are pretty as lackluster as you get for events. Maybe sometimes they do a photo booth and they need a microphone, but that's a little tough. Um and then you have the fundraisers and the galas, and those can get really big. Some of them, it's really their event of the year to have raffles, bring in money, and so those can be really exciting to be a part of. And sometimes for a good cause. When it's a fundraiser, that's really great. And some of them are really big. You'll have kind of like a who's who of the area coming in. So that's an exciting place to be in. And then you have the holiday parties. Those are really, really exciting, really fun. I mean, those involve favors too, and so many different things. Also, you have the type of corporate events that are more like seminars. There are people and businesses. This could be with real estate. It could be with even other event planners where they're doing quarterly seminars. Sometimes you get that with insurance companies, all sorts of things. So these are all the people to kind of think about how you could market to them, if there's a place for you with them, and so forth. Also, if you're not, able to get in for these fundraisers, maybe think about donating a basket, and offering, something in a raffle basket, and get yourself in the conversation. Just get yourself there, align yourself with it. It's great to give back, and then see what develops over time. Right now, this episode's going live September 1st. Hello, September. And by now, for my corporate, for my clients who do corporate, I've already introduced to the social media audience that they do corporate events. Okay. So normally in July is when I start this, really just because of the Christmas in July. That's the first introduction to this, because corporate events really take my clients through the weekdays, through fall and winter especially. That's the great thing about corporate, is that there's filling those dates where there's really nothing else for them during that time. So July is the first time I'll mention it, and it will really be Christmas in July. Start considering your corporate or your Christmas holiday party really now. And the important thing to stress is do it now to get the best dates, right? Because some people, like I told you, this repeat business, they want their Saturday before Christmas and they book it for the next 3 years. So this way they know they have it. So if you're looking for a specific date, you got to do it early, and that's what you introduce when you're kind of first introducing it. And look, that can be a social media post, email blast, put it wherever you're putting out your stuff. And then what I'll do is I'll kind of have my graphics created, and then I kind of just feed through it in stories periodically. Then going forward is that I'm reminding people about the corporate events, and you can contact us for those dates and so forth. And now we're in September, so now is the time where we can integrate this a bit more aggressively, because now people are realizing they have less and less time to book these dates. The magical thing happens in September. Everybody gets back to focusing on their work and back into the grind. We're all enjoying our coffee, sweaters, and boots, but we're also getting back into the grind about working. So now we could kind of connect the dots, right? We dropped the breadcrumbs that we do corporate in July, a little bit in August. Now in September, we're hoping to get those appointments in and people to start booking. So now is when you really want to have this coming up consistently in your strategy. So maybe in September, I would devote a quarter of the post to it. So let's say be posting about it at least every other week in the content strategy. And then October, maybe a little more, because really what happens is by the time you're getting to mid-November, it's too late. So September and October is really when you can kind of hit a bit stronger about this, because by mid-November, you're in the season. Once Thanksgiving hits, that's really it. And there will be people who forgot, or who delayed, but you really want, you want to. And more so, this is especially for venues that I'm saying it. If you're looking to do one of the add-ons to the package, then push it back a bit, because people are booking the venue date first, then you're coming a little after that. So if you're not the caterer or the venue, then I would say October and November, and you even could post still in December, is when you're hitting hard about this. But for the venue and date security, like with caterer, that comes first. And this is why I love LinkedIn, guys. And I think that will be my next episode on why you should join me on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn gives you this platform that you could be posting, you're nurturing these local business contacts, really. And look, brides and grooms, they have jobs too. They work too. And even though maybe you're not marketing as obvious to brides and grooms, people are still connecting with you on there. So it's not something to be ignored. And it's a great space where you can post about these corporate events that you do and nurture that audience. So that is something to keep in mind.